I don't do this often, so if it doesn't sound professional right now, I'm sorry, but I don't do this often. It's a solid card, and I'll go through it all the fights. Dude, that's my girl. Anyway, okay, let's start. Now this is actually a good fight. This is actually a good fight. I can't really say his name. Narulo Aliev, I'm pretty sure. I know he fought Rafael Alves in his debut. Alves, that's my guy. That's the guy in Karate Combat right now. That's doing some crazy shit. If you see that, and he beat him, but it was kind of a weird fight. He kept fouling him. It was a majority decision, I think. This is like a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago now. Honestly, like 2 years ago, maybe. But kind of looks like Khabib a little bit. He has that wrestling style. I think he's from Tajikistan, which is I think that's where Muhammad Naimov is from. And he has that, but he hasn't fought in like 2 years, so I'm interested to see him again. Joe Selecki, I don't really like his style too much. He's kind of like a jujitsu guy, but he doesn't do it in an entertaining way. He kind of just goes out there. Oh, let's get our rear naked choke. Like no, so I think he's not gonna submit Aliev, who's has that Russian style where they're very um, composed on the ground and they know the right positions. I think he's gonna ride out Selecki, win a decision. That's gonna be three in a row for Selecki. He's gonna get cut probably. So next, Fatima Klein. I don't really know her too much. Didn't she fight that Jasmine girl? I know she lost if she did. Versus Victoria Dudakova. See, I don't really know either of them too much. I'm gonna predict Dudakova to win, but I like Klein. She looks good, so I'd rather her win. But I'm gonna predict Dudakova by decision, I guess. Magomed Gadzi Yusulov. It's from Bahrain. And Bruno Lopez from Brazil. I know Bruno Lopez. I watched his Contender Series fight. He got knocked out by what's his name, Brendan Ribeiro, right? And then he's a bit chinny. He's a bit chinny because he got knocked out there, and then he got dropped on the Contender Series again. But then he ended up going on to win that fight by TKO. So the other guy looks pretty chinny though too, right? He beat up that fat Mexican guy. Well, I don't want to sound mean. He beat up that Mexican guy that wasn't in too good a shape. Maybe not Mexican, but you know what I mean. And but then he fought Brenson Ribeiro too, right? He fought Brenson Ribeiro in Saudi. Yeah, I have a good memory. And if I remember, he was like, I think he was getting out wrestled, and then he started out wrestling Ribeiro, who gassed out. Let's just hold on. No, Brenson Ribeiro stats. Let's see. Wait, no, I don't want ESPN stats. Yep. So yeah, I was right. He knocked out Bruno Lopez. Yeah, in a round. That's good. Then he's pretty chinny. He got knocked out by Zhang. Here it was. Yes, he was out wrestling him in the first round, and then I remember the next two he started getting the takedowns. So it's very interesting. Um, I have a feeling that Gadjashulov is going to catch Lopez on the chin and finish him by a TKO. Ernesta Karakati from Lithuania versus Nicole Cagliari from Brazil. I'm gonna predict Cagliari. She looks younger. Let's see. Do they have their records on here? 5-1-1, 8-2. Oh, that's pretty even. She has more wins, but Yeah, no, she has a better record a little bit, but oh my god, 5'9" to 5'3". I think she's in. I think Ernesta's gonna win with 5'9". Set a 9-inch reach advantage. Okay, I don't think the girls are that good when they have such a big disadvantage like that. Let's move on. Preston Parsons, Jacoby Smith. I don't know if that's how I say it. I saw one of his highlights. He got like a KO. Then he started doing some celebration. I saw it on Twitter the other day. Let's see their records. 9-0, 11-5. So I know Preston Parsons. He's a pressure fighter. His nickname's Pressure. Even though he just got out pressured by that Welsh guy in Brazil. Um, he's good. He has some pop. His wrestling's pretty good, and he stays in your face. His boxing technique is decent. It's just he's not the most durable guy. I mean, he's durable, but he can get finished. And I feel like Jacoby Smith with that 9-0 record, and I've seen the Papios. I feel like he's gonna catch Preston Parsons, put him out. Next, this is a good fight. Thiago Moises, Trey Ogden. So Trey Ogden kind of flies under the radar for me. Like I see him on a card, I'm like, oh, that's an interesting fight, and then he beats them every time. I'm like, oh, he's actually pretty solid, right? He beat Nicholas Mota. I know it's a no contest, but he beat him. He was outstriking him, then he got him with an arm triangle. But the ref pulled him off right before he was going to tap, so no contest. But he was going to tap. And Nicholas Mota is good. Nicholas Mota has won 2 in a row now. He's good. He's a bit chinny, but he's good. Who else did he beat? The Contender Series guy, Kurt Holloway. No, the Ultimate Fighter guy. Beat him decision, and then he beat Loic Radzhabov. I didn't get to see that fight because I was busy. I wasn't watching that card, but I saw the result. I'm like, holy! I was not expecting that. Loic Radzhabov is really good. Like, if anyone's ever seen that fight, Loic Radzhabov, Esteban Ribovics, that fight's awesome. I missed that one too, and I just recently saw that. So, I'm really impressed with Trey Ogden. He has a good wrestling style. His striking he's good pitter pat striking, like at range. Like he's not gonna knock anyone out, but he has good enough to stay in the fight. And he also beat Daniel Zellhuber. He was the only person to do it for years before Ribovics just beat him. But he has a win over Zellhuber, which is a really good win too. Thiago Moises kind of disappoints sometimes. Like he'll get a good win and then he'll lose in big devastating fashion. Like I remember he submitted what's his name, that Brazilian guy with the pigment issue. He submitted him, and before that he submitted somebody else. He had two rear naked chokes in a row. I was like, he's kind of getting on track a little bit now. And then who did he lose to? Benoit Saint Denis. But that was just Benoit with his pressure style, just beating on him. So I don't put too much to that. Then he TKO'd that short notice guy with leg kicks. And that was good. It's like, oh, you got a TKO, that's good. But it wasn't like, Alright, now let's get back to the real names. And then I thought it was going to be a great fight. Moises and Ludwig Klein. Ludwig Klein just put a whooping on him for 3 rounds. And I was like, wow. I was very surprised. So Trey Ogden ain't going to wrestle him. But I feel like it can be a close striking battle, on the feet. I feel like Moises is going to try to wrestle, but he's not that good on the ground. He's good on the ground, but he's not that good at getting down there. He doesn't do it that often. He kind of just strikes. I feel like it's whoever has the more pop, and I don't know. I feel like Moises has a more athletic striking game. He's training at ATT, I'm pretty sure. So I feel like he has a more athletic striking game. So I'm going to say Moises by decision. This is a good fight. My nose is busted. I played rugby in football like my whole life. My nose is busted, so if I'm breathing very weird, that's why. I gotta drink some water. So sorry if it's distracting, guys or girls. Marco Tulio Silva. I know there's a Silva there versus Ihor Poteri. Ah, dude, I'm an Ihor Poteri fan. I've been one. I know he beat up Shogun. He didn't beat up Shogun. He actually got beat up a little bit. But he beat Shogun. His retirement fight. That was pretty bad, but I like Ihor Poteri. He has a funny career. How many fights has he lost in the UFC? Like 5 of them. But he gets, he has his moments where he does some cool stuff, and he sticks around a little bit. But this is gonna be 3 in a row, I think. This is a contender series guy. I don't know much about him, but let's see. Wait, will they show how many 12-1? Dude, yeah. All right, I'm gonna predict Marco Tulio Silva to win. I'm gonna say by TKO, maybe a decision. Because Poteri is tough. He went out 3 rounds with Almeida, who's just, yeah, that was a tough fight to watch. Anyway, next one. This is a good fight too. Jose Johnson, Felipe Bunes. So Jose Johnson, people give him shit because he's a I don't. I'm sorry that I'm cursing. So I said this is a family friendly channel. I'm cursing a lot. I'm very sorry. I'm gonna try not to. Jose Johnson. They give him crap because he's a 6 foot tall flyweight, and sure he should be like a bantamweight, maybe a featherweight, but if he can get down to flyweight, who cares? Anyway, let's keep going. This is a good fight. 16-9 record, but he fights tough competition. He's not that great, but he fights tough competition. 13-7. This is a very competitive fight. I don't know much about Felipe Bunes. I know he got TKO'd by Joshua Van, but Joshua Van's pressure is crazy when he gets going. So when he if you don't get Joshua Van out of there in the first round, if you're not Charles Johnson, Energy, I'm a big fan of that guy, then you're in for a tough day because when he got started on Cody Durden, he just didn't let go. So I'm very impressed with Joshua Van recently, and Felipe Bunes is his only finish in the UFC. But see, I don't know what these guys do. So let's see, 50%. Ooh, 15. I think Jose Johnson will have the advantage in the striking and land good shots at range. Maybe get a TKO, but I think it'll be a decision. Okay, that's it for the prelims. Punahele Soriano, newly winning at welterweight, but he was losing at middleweight for a long time. I remember when he got booked to fight Dustin Stoltzfus at middleweight, the guy who got totally front kicked by the Russian guy. I was like, oh god. Well, no, I said he's finally gonna get a win again. So I like Punahele. Like what's that name? And I went to one of his fights once, in the UFC. I was at that card. He opened the main card. It was funny. But he got destroyed in that fight. He got knocked down with a jab. He got submitted with a rear naked choke. It was pretty bad. He beat that. What's his name? Who's that guy he beat? See, I don't even remember him, but he got knocked out by Andre Fiallo. I remember that. He beat that guy. Now he's fighting Yaros Medic, who's going to destroy Punahele Soriano. I think he's a lethal striker. You saw that uppercut he knocked out Tim Means with. I know Tim Means' age has caught up to him recently, and I noticed it. I'm very sad because I'm a Tim Means fan. I was sad. He looked good in that Fiala fight. Now he's 0-2. Since. Anyway, he decapitated Tim Means with that uppercut. And then he was putting on a good striking performance against Orobai before he got destroyed in the grappling. So I think Euros Medic is going to finish this fight with a TKO with a body kick. Another body kick. Punahele's been finished with a body kick before by someone who's on this card. So let's go on. So I don't know about this Austin Bashi guy. I don't know much about him. He seems like, let's see. C-Rod. I'm a big C-Rod fan. I've been with him since he got that like anaconda choke in the Apex a couple years ago. That was pretty cool. So he has 27% knockout, 36. He's pretty good at everything. You know, he's pretty what's the word? Well-rounded. So it was just Bashi. I think it's going to be a good, close fight. C-Rod has close fights all the time. But I feel like he's going to get the judge's nod. That's usually what happens. And people complain about it a lot. But if you have close fights and he gets picked as the winner, what are you going to complain about it? You know? Okay. So I'm going to say C-Rod decision, but Austin Bashi looks like a good fighter. I could be totally wrong. I don't know about him that much. Here it is. A great fight. Chris Curtis and Roman Kopylov. I feel like Roman Kopylov's gonna destroy Chris Curtis, and that's sad because I'm a big Chris Curtis fan. I know a lot of people are turning on him because he's kind of annoying on Twitter, but who cares? You know, why? They're humans too. You know, don't look up to them like they're god figures. Anyway, I'm a big Chris Curtis fan, and I thought he got robbed in that Brendan Allen rematch. I thought he won. It was a close fight, but Brendan Allen was just flopping on the floor for most of it. He didn't win that. And I was happy that I don't like to be happy when people lose, but when Brendan Allen lost to Imavov, I was like, oh, thank God, this guy is just like a fraud. You know, he's getting all these wins in a row. And I'm like, how? He gets rocked in every fight, and then somehow gets on the ground. Maybe he'll get a rear naked choke, or will just flop enough times on the ground and get you down somehow and win a decision. I'm like, how does that happen? So I was happy when Imavov beat him. But let's go on. People forget that Kopylov is a lethal striker, and Curtis is taking a lot of damage. I don't feel like he's gonna finish him, but I feel like he's just gonna beat him up for the round. Jack Hermanson put him at range and outstruck him for all that time too. So it's very interesting. Interesting fight. Intriguing fight. Actually, it's a very great fight. But I think Roman Kopylov is going to have a field day with it. Cesar Almeida. I was talking about him. I gotta blow my nose. Sorry, guys. I'll be right back. Okay. That was gross. Sorry. I don't cut this stuff out, by the way, because I don't like editing my videos. Cesar Almeida versus Abdul Razak Al Hassan. Abdul hits hard, man. He hits hard. I feel like he can knock out Almeida, but Almeida has a good chin. Look at the size of that head. I think Almeida's gonna keep out of range and light him up. He's not even that good of a striker, though, is he? You know, no. I'm going for it. No, it's the Apex. It's the Apex. It's not gonna be a good fight. I feel like Almeida is going to win a decision. Oh, Alhassan could wrestle. He's a pretty solid wrestler. He wrestled against Buckley a little bit. I remember he couldn't wrestle, but I don't think he will. Ooh, my guy, my boy Ponzinibbio. That's one of my favorite fighters. He's from Argentina. His friend Carlston Harris. Harris has some pop in his hands, and he has good anaconda choke. Pretty sure he got that twice. So he's a tricky fighter, but he's been knocked out twice, and Ponzinibbio still cracks if he can get to it. I just, it's the Apex. It's not going to be a good fight. I feel like this is going to go to decision, and I feel like it's going to go either way, and I see. I'm gonna have faith. I'm gonna say Ponzinibbio wins a decision. Yeah, I'm gonna say he wins a decision. Ooh, the main event. My girl. Yeah, I love Amanda Ribas. Mackenzie Dern versus Amanda Ribas. So in the first fight, if I haven't seen it, but from what I heard about it, Dern just couldn't get her takedowns and her striking wasn't clean enough, and she just got outstruck for 3 rounds by Ribas. Years later, Dern got finished a couple times, and I say a couple times, I think just once, but she's been beat up a couple times, and Ribas actually has been finished a couple times. Very sad to me when it happens, but what were their last fights? So I think Mackenzie Dern's last fight, she beat Lupita Godinez, right? Yeah, in Abu Dhabi. It was going to be the Nick Diaz card. I'm still sad about that. My favorite fighter. And Amanda fought Rose Namajunas, and I thought she won that fight, personally. I thought she won that fight in the Apex a year ago. Wow, okay. She got to fight more often. And for this fight, I feel like Dern, her striking, it's gotten worse, It's gotten worse. And I just don't feel like she can catch Ribas. Ribas has a bit of a chin issue. Her chin isn't that great. She's been knocked out a couple times. But I feel like she's just going to dance around for 3 rounds and pick at Dern. I think she's going to win again. It is a 5-round fight, though. Could she dance around for 5 rounds without being taken down or caught or anything? I don't know. So, I'm going to stick to my thing. I'm going to say Dern. Ribas wins the decision. She could finish her. She has some pop. She got that wheel kick over my other girl. What's her name? The blonde one. So, this will be a good fight, but I'm going to go Amanda Ribas winning a decision. Okay. Thank you guys for watching.